Hello. Hi, Geraldine. How are you? Hang on one second. I just want to get to pull up this interesting something. Oh, I see what it is. Never mind. Never mind. Okay. Make sure that. Okay. Hi, everybody. I know I'm on a lot earlier than normal, but we used to go live during the afternoon. Maybe we'll do it again. A lot of people, we're going to be moving the sales up earlier a little bit. And hi, Rosalita. So a lot of stuff has happened today, this morning. Donna's made her first court appearance in a turtle suit, which can't even imagine. I just feel cold looking at her arms up, but I'm freezing here in New York. Anyway, she is in Florida. Looks like she'll be spending Thanksgiving, probably the first of many, in jail. The lawyer she had, it's a very comical proceeding because the judge is like, hey, didn't I see you on my flight home from France last night? No, she didn't. Hi, Shayna. Hi, Tracy. Linda. Donna probably asked. Yeah, it looked to me like she had, it looked like, it's funny, the handcuffs sometimes look like, I know it's a joke, bracelets, but they really did on her. And then she had that, what looked like a hospital bracelet on her. I wonder if she has, if that's just something that's normal, or if she was in the hospital or the infirmary or somewhere over there, because I would imagine she's going to be pulling that card soon. So we're going to look at the arrest affidavit, the probable cause affidavit, because she told Charlie some interesting stuff in there. The other thing I want to discuss is that, well, let's go to the court first. Okay, so she appeared, it was like a 2-minute court session. She said not one word. Her attorney was there. Her attorney seemed a little confused, didn't really understand that it wasn't extradition, said they weren't waiving extradition to Leon County, but the judge was like, well, it's not really that, it's the same state, so. But Leon County has until, they have 15 days to pick her up. And that's till the 20, from now to the 29th. I would imagine they're going to pick Donna up pretty quickly. I think she will be spending Thanksgiving in Tallahassee, right? So, I don't know. Donna looks shell-shocked, probably not really understanding what's going on. There's no bond for her. And being that she was fleeing the country, going to Vietnam, now there was a lot of talk about, see, last night, that's why I didn't say much about this Italy trip, because, yeah, she might have went to Italy while Charlie was on trial, but she wasn't coming back from Italy. And so I just kind of left it until we found out more. And today we do find out more that they were going on a one-way trip to Vietnam via Dubai. Now it's funny that they say Vietnam, because I saw a video by Fancy Fiction about a week right after Charlie's arrest, where she posted he was in a Vietnamese spa, it appears, with those little fish that eat the dead skin and stuff off of your feet. And I thought it was interesting that Charlie was in Vietnam. Now, of course, yeah, it's a travel destination. But were they looking, I want to find out more now when his first trip to Vietnam was. Had the family ever been there? I would say they were probably so arrogant. They didn't want to make the move to Vietnam too soon because they liked where they lived in South Florida. she's probably kicking herself because Vietnam does not have doesn't extradite to the United States. They don't have a policy about doing another treaty. And so, that's interesting, isn't it? Did Charlie make a lot of trips out there? Have they already transferred all their funds? Have they bought, houses out there, etc., etc.? I guess, and people are saying Wendi would have, if the parents got out, Wendi would have been next. But Wendi's got a problem because the Markels have visitation now with those boys. If Wendi would just disappear with those boys, that would be another issue. And Wendi was allegedly contacting an attorney about her immunity status, and it's that whole Castigar case, which she's citing, about her immunity, and when you have immunity, whatever you testify, whatever you say when you're testifying, can't be used to incriminate you. So, barring what could be on the mother's phone, remember they now may have a little more information, but it may be that they protected Wendi to keep one of them, maybe even Harvey, on the outside. I don't know. We'll see. But right now we're going to go through the probable cause affidavit of Donna. So let's get into that. Let me pull that up on the screen. 1 second here. Where did I put you? Are you over in here? Where did I put you, Mr. Probable Cause? Here you are. Here you are, Mr. Probable Cause. Okay, I'm going to pull this over. And here we go. Uh-oh. There we go. First appearance, magistrate, November 13th, 2023. Charges, well, we were talking about the charges, right? There they are. The judge said pretty serious or very serious charges. Charges: first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, solicitation to commit first-degree murder. So it's, last night there were still some people like, well, could she be being, no, that's what this is. So this affidavit sets forth probable cause to believe that Sigfrido Garcia and Luis Rivera murdered Florida State University Law School professor Dan Markel, and the murder was arranged through Catherine Magbanua, Charles Adelson, and Donna Adelson. So now she's named there in violation of Florida statutes murder per chapter 782. So let's just look at that for a second. Sigfrido, convicted, in prison. Lewis Lewis did his plea. He's the one that's got the 19 years on this. He's the one that has been testifying. Okay. Catherine Magbanua, she was offered quite a couple of deals, didn't take them, and then just started working with this state via Charlie's trial, but we don't know what, if anything, she was given for that. And then Charles Adelson, convicted. He'll be sentenced, I believe it's December 12th. And now Donna, charged again, first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, solicitation to commit first-degree murder. And on Friday, July 18th, 2014, at 11:02 a.m., A report of a shooting was received at 2116 Trescott Drive, the home of Florida State University law school professor Daniel Markel in Tallahassee, Florida. Upon arrival, Tallahassee police officers found Markel slumped over in the driver's seat of his vehicle from an apparent gunshot to the head. Markel was transported from the scene to a local hospital, where he later died from his injuries sustained during the shooting. It was 13 hours that he suffered before he died. The investigation of the crime scene found no indication that this incident was part of any other criminal intent, such as a burglary or robbery. A neighbor heard a loud bang and looked out his window, where he saw a small silver or light-colored vehicle resembling a Toyota Prius backing out of the victim's driveway. He walked over to check on Markel and discovered him in distress and called 911. Actually, what happened there is he walked over at first, and saw that the garage door was open. He thought the professor was pulling out, went back home, then didn't see the professor's car, went back. So he was very instrumental in getting someone there as quickly as possible, but unfortunately it was an execution-style murder. He was not going to survive, no matter whether they got somebody there within 1 second. It was an execution. Investigators located the victim's ex-wife, Wendi Adelson, at a local restaurant and transported her to the Tallahassee Police Department for an interview. During the interview of Wendi Adelson, she made statements suggesting the murder of Markel could have been arranged by someone on her behalf without her knowledge. Wendi indicated her parents were very angry at Markel and further suggested that someone could have arranged the murder thinking it would help her. She specifically mentioned that her brother, Charles, aka Charlie Adelson, joked about hiring a hitman to kill Markel in the past. She said her brother makes a lot of jokes in bad taste and had previously commented that he looked into hiring a hitman, but it was cheaper to buy her a television as a divorce gift. Wendi indicated that she did not think her brother would actually commit this crime. It should be noted that Wendi's mother, Donna Adelson, set a television repair appointment on July 11, 2014, for Wendi's television to be repaired on the morning of the homicide, July 18, 2014, giving Wendi that alibi, right? Protecting Wendi. Records obtained from Best Buy show a service was completed on her television the morning of July 18, 2014, the same day of the homicide. Wendi stated that after the divorce, she wanted to relocate to South Florida with her children. She felt her former in-laws would suspect her of murdering their son since she was denied the ability to move by the court. Wendi filed for divorce on September 10th of 2012. The divorce was later finalized by a marital settlement agreement, MSA, on July 31st of 2013. Investigators reviewed voluminous documents, including emails, text messages, and court documents. The review determined Wendi Adelson and her brother Charles, as well as their parents, Harvey and Donna Adelson, were determined to have Wendi and the two Markel children relocate to South Florida, where the Adelsons reside after her divorce from Markel. Markel objected to his ex-wife moving his children to South Florida, and on June 20th of 2013, a Leon County Circuit Judge, Hobbs, formally denied with prejudice Wendi's motion for relocation with the children. After the court's denial, Wendi's parents, especially her mother, Donna Adelson, repeatedly tried to convince Wendi to coerce Markel into allowing the relocation to South Florida. Donna suggested the family offer Markel $1 million to allow the relocation, with Donna Adelson and her husband Harvey Adelson contributing 1/3, Wendi Adelson contributing 1/3, and Charles Adelson contributing 1/3. Donna also suggested that Wendi threatened to convert Markel's children to Catholicism, knowing Markel was very observant in his Jewish faith, and that the religious practices of the children were of the utmost importance to Markel. Wendi Adelson's prior boyfriend, Jeff Lacasse, stated that Wendi disclosed to him that Charles had seriously looked into hiring a hitman in the summer of 2013, and he was told it would cost either $15,000 or $50,000. Lacasse also reported that he was visiting Charles Adelson with Wendi Adelson in the spring of 2013. Charlie Adelson bragged about being connected to a Cuban criminal element. It was learned that around the time of the murder, Catherine Magbanua was involved in a personal relationship with Charles Adelson. Magbanua's cellular telephone number was 786 blah 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 blah. Call records show that Magbanua as one of Charles's top contacts, and text communication confirmed the relationship was more than a friendship. It was later confirmed by Catherine Magbanua. Charles Adelson enlisted Magbanua, who then enlisted the father of her two children, Sigfrido Garcia, to carry out this murder. Garcia enlisted Rivera's assistance, and Magbanua, Garcia, and Rivera were compensated for their actions. Magbanua was the only link between Markel and the shooters, Garcia and Rivera. Magbanua's only ties to Danielle Markel are Charles Adelson and a couple instances where she met Wendi Adelson. The only way Magbanua, Garcia, and Rivera knew of Danielle Markel and his relationship with the Adelson family was through Charles Adelson. Excuse me. While in the interview room, Wendi wanted to call her parents to notify them of the incident. While contemplating aloud as to what they would say, she told the victim advocate sitting next to her that her parents were very angry with Markel and described it as a very effed up situation. Wendi then called and talked to her mother, Donna. After notifying Donna of the shooting, Wendi asked her to notify Charles of the shooting so Wendi would not have to do so. After Wendi's conversation with her mother, Donna Adelson called Charles's cell phone at 7:11 p.m., which went to voicemail. Charles then called Donna's cell phone at 7:13 p.m. with a call duration of 5 minutes 47 seconds. At 7:29 p.m., Charles called Donna again with a duration of 6 minutes 31 seconds. At 7:36 p.m., Charles called Catherine Magbanua's cell phone with a duration of 2 minutes 49 seconds. Wendi's parents, Harvey and Donna Adelson, made contact with the lead TPD investigator at Markel's memorial service on Sunday morning, July 20th, 2014 in Tallahassee. They agreed to contact the TPD investigator to arrange an interview before returning to South Florida. The following day, the TPD investigator contacted Wendi on her cellular telephone. Once the investigator identified himself, Wendi claimed to have a bad connection, and the call was terminated. Less than 5 minutes later, Wendi's attorney called the investigator and informed him that Wendi left town with her children and parents en route to South Florida. The attorney could not provide a date for Wendi's return to Tallahassee and requested he be contacted for any further inquiries. Harvey and Donna Adelson left Tallahassee with Wendi and the grandchildren the day after the memorial service without speaking with the investigator as promised. Since leaving, no one in the Adelson family contacted TPD or inquired about the status of the investigation. Right, because they're so worried about who killed Dan Markel, right? Charles Adelson did not attend the memorial service for his ex-brother-in-law. In July of 2015, Wendi had her children's surname changed from Markel to Adelson. On July 18th, 2014, Markel left his home that morning and drove his two children to daycare on the west side of Tallahassee. Markel drove to Premier Health and Fitness Center. Markel arrived at Premier, where surveillance video shows a silver or light green Toyota Prius enter the parking lot after Markel parked his car. After Markel went into the health club, the video captures the Prius in the parking lot, where the driver moved the vehicle to different parking positions while Markel was in the building. No individuals ever exited the Prius. Of course, Rivera and Garcia in the Prius waiting for Markel to exit. Additional surveillance video discovered for the day of the homicide showed the same Prius before and after the homicide, including following Markel into Markel's neighborhood immediately prior to the shooting. After analyzing the surveillance video, the suspect's vehicle was determined to be a 2006 to 2009 Toyota Prius with silver pine mica paint color. The Prius had tinted windows, a sun pass transponder on the top center of the windshield, a missing tow hook cover on the front bumper, and a black passenger side mirror casing. So normally they match the car. This one had one black one on the side that was easy to help identify this Prius, along with the missing tow hook cover on the front bumper. It was determined that the Prius followed the victim throughout the morning and back towards the residence where the shooting occurred. The suspect vehicle fit the description given by Markel's neighbor after he heard a gunshot and looked out the window and saw the Prius backing out of the victim's driveway. Florida Department of Transportation records for SunPass on Alligator Alley I-75 west of Fort Lauderdale on July 16th and 18th, 2014, had one account listing a Prius as a customer vehicle. The SunPass transponder activity was consistent with cell site data for Rivera and Garcia's handset travels. Now, these guys really, this whole, Magvanua, this whole car rental, they don't understand that SunPass is going to register that car wherever it goes. That's just gold for catching them and doing what they did and just showing that, stupid criminals, right? As they say, the things they do, they think they're smarter than everyone and they make mistakes like this. The transponder of interest in this case, and it gives the number, the SunPass, account using the above transponder, is a rental company in North Miami, Florida. Now, what was even crazier is that Garcia shot the floorboard of this Toyota and hit I think it was the fuel line or something, and so they had to go to Advanced Auto or one of those things and get it repaired. But that was another way that this car was, surely the car that was used, and backs up Rivera's testimony there. So it goes back to a rental contract for a 2008 Toyota Prius on July 15, 2014, 3 days before the homicide. The customer is listed as Luis Rivera with a contact number, blah, blah, blah. A second telephone number was also written on the rental contract. Garcia's phone with the word brother written beside it. The rental contract indicates the Prius was checked out at 6:15 p.m. on July 15th and rented to Rivera through July 21st of 2014, 3 days after the homicide. The Prius rented by Luis Rivera on July 15th contained a GPS device installed by the owner to assist with theft or non-return. The GPS company records have the vehicle's location on July 15th at 10:25 at the parking lot of 7501 East Treasure Drive North, Bay Village, Florida. This was the location of, this is great, isn't it? Katie Magvanua's residence at that time. July 18th, 12:26 a.m. The vehicle was located at North Monroe Street, East 6th Avenue, Tallahassee, Florida. On July 19th, 2014, 1:26 a.m., the vehicle was located behind 1505 Northeast 135th Street, North Miami, Florida. This address is the residence of Jessica Rodriguez, who was a girlfriend of Rivera's baby mama, right? And has a child with Rivera. Cell location data for Katie, Sigfrido, and Lewis is consistent with them being in the area of Katie Magbanua's residence during and around the time the vehicle GPS showed its location to be in the parking lot of Katie Magbanua's condominium. Both Garcia and Rivera met with Magbanua the night before departing for Tallahassee to commit the murder. Analysis of Rivera's checking account revealed an ATM transaction that took place in Broward County on July 18, 2014 at 6:46 p.m. as they were returning to Miami from Tallahassee, Florida. Security video from the drive-through lane ATM shows Rivera driving a Toyota Prius up to the ATM at 6:45 p.m. As the Toyota Prius exits the ATM area at 6:47 p.m., a Florida license plate can be seen on the rear of the car. The tag characters match the car on the rental contract. Cell records show numerous contacts between Katie Magbanua and Charles Adelson and also Sigfrido Garcia. On one occasion, telephone records show contact between Garcia's handset and a cellular telephone registered to Harvey Adelson, Charles and Wendi Adelson's father, on July 1st, 2014, at approximately 11:47 a.m. Magbanua's telephone began to contact Garcia's telephone. Over the next 5.5 hours, Magbanua attempted to contact Garcia approximately 48 times. At 5:05 p.m., Magbanua made contact with Garcia, and they had a conversation that lasted 6 minutes and 22 seconds. Approximately 9 minutes later, at 5:20, Garcia's cell phone attempted to contact Harvey's cell phone. The cell records indicate this call went to voicemail. The telephone number that was being used by Garcia prior to the murder had been in contact with Katie Magbanua's cell phone approximately 2,700 times between May 1st of 2014 and July 19th of 2014, when Garcia's cell phone ceased activity the day after the homicide. The telephone number that belonged to Luis Rivera during the time leading up to Markel's murder. The following contacts took place the morning of July 18, 2014. 12 to 12:23, Rivera and Garcia's handsets communicated with cell sites in the area off of the roadway in North Monroe Street. 12:01, Katie contacts Sigfrido, over 1 minute. At 12:07, Charlie Adelson contacts Katie, and that's over 7 minutes. At 12:34, Katie contacts Charlie again, less than 1 minute. 1:02 a.m., Charlie contacts his mom, Donna. 1:02 a.m., right? And then Charlie contacts Magbanua. 8:09 a.m. Donna calls Wendi. 35 seconds. 8:15 a.m. Dan Markel drops his children off at Creative Preschool. 9:02 a.m. Dan Markel contacts Wendi. 1 minute. 9:12 a.m. Charlie contacts Wendi. Less than 1 minute. 9:19 a.m. Wendi contacts Charlie, and they're on the phone for over 18 minutes. 9:38 a.m. Charlie contacts his mom, 30 seconds. 9:58 a.m. Charlie contacts Katie, and they speak over 6 minutes. 10:07 a.m. Katie Magbanua contacts Charlie Adelson, over 1 minute. 10:08 a.m. Magbanua contacts Charlie Adelson again, 9 seconds. 10:09 a.m. Charlie contacts Katie, 6 minutes. At 10:52 to 10:55 a.m., the neighbor hears the gunshot and sees that small light color vehicle pulling out of Markel's driveway. 11 a.m. The subject on the phone with Dan Markel attempts to call Markel back, but it goes to voicemail. 11:01. Subject texts Markel asking if he is okay. 11:02. Markel's neighbor calls 911. 11:06 a.m. Donna Adelson contacts Charlie Adelson, either attempted call or text. 11:22 a.m., Charles Adelson contacts Donna Adelson. 7 minutes they speak. 11:30 a.m., Charles Adelson contacts Katie. 30 seconds. 11:31, Charles Adelson contacts Katie. So their activity is just crazy, right? On the morning of July 18th, 2014, Garcia's telephone ceased activity just before 10:50 a.m. while in the area of the Premier Gym, with the last text message occurring at 10:58 a.m. The next event on Garcia's telephone was text messages and or notifications being received at 12:29 p.m. Immediately afterward, at 12:30 p.m., Garcia placed a call to Katie Magbanua, which was the first contact initiated by Garcia after the homicide. This call occurred when Garcia's phone was in the area of Lake City, Florida, on or near I-75, approximately 1.5 hours after the shooting was reported. Approximately 2 hours after Garcia and Rivera arrived back in Miami, Katie Magbanua departed her residence and went to Rivera's residence while attempting to contact Garcia on the telephone. While Magbanua, Garcia, and Rivera were together, Magbanua had telephonic contact with Charles Adelson. Magbanua traveled north to Charles Adelson's residence, where she would remain until the following morning. Magbanua stated while at Charles Adelson's residence, Charles Adelson was armed and acting frantic. Charles told her his father and mother had just left his residence and left money that his mom had washed. At Adelson's trial, Magbanua testified that the money she received was damp and moldy, consistent with being physically washed, and was stapled into $1,000 stacks. Magbanua took a Xanax that was provided by Adelson and fell asleep. The next morning, July 19, 2014, at 9:44 a.m., Katie Magbanua left the residence and was told by Adelson that the money was in the trunk of her car. Katie attempted to contact Sigfrido Garcia. That's her baby daddy. Communication records in Charles Adelson's iCloud show Donna Adelson telling Charles Adelson she was outside your house at approximately 8:59 p.m. on July 18, 2014. Cell records for Donna and Harvey show an arrival time of 1:25 a.m. in Orlando, Florida, leaving an approximate hour-and-a-half time block consistent with her being at Charles's residence. Donna and Harvey Adelson traveled to Orlando for the evening and then on to Tallahassee the following morning. They were going up to see their daughter, right, and give her some support after this, after the father of her children was murdered by somebody they didn't know, right? Prior to the homicide, Magbanua was employed at a Miami area dental office. Investigations revealed that after the homicide occurred, in July of 2014, Magbanua started receiving paychecks from the Adelson Institute for Aesthetics and Implant Dentistry, which were handwritten and signed by Donna Adelson. These paychecks started in September of 2014, and they were consistently in the amount of $407.58. $407.58. 11/13. Let me see. Okay. Which she received every 2 weeks. The memo section of each check indicated it was for a period of 10 days, preceding the date of the check. The checks continued at least through April of 2016. On at least 2 different occasions, Magbanua received paychecks in advance of the time period indicated on the check and frequently received sequential checks. Magbanua received a significant amount of cash after Markel's murder. In the month following the murder, Magbanua deposited over $13,000 in cash. In the 6 weeks following the homicide, she deposited more cash than she did in the entire year leading up to the homicide. These numerous deposits were conducted mostly through ATMs in increments of $300 to $2,000. From the homicide through November of 2015, the total amount of cash that investigators identified deposited into Magbanua's accounts was over $56,000. This amount is over and above the paychecks she had received. The investigation revealed that Katie Magbanua did not work at the Adelson Institute. Magbanua was also in possession of and operating a 2001 Lexus LS 430 sedan automobile, which was registered to Harvey Adelson and previously used by Charles Adelson. On January 23, 2016, the title for this car was transferred to Magbanua and a new license plate was obtained in Magbanua's name. Motor vehicle records indicate the vehicle was sold to Magbanua for the price of $1,700. In addition, Magbanua received cash and numerous gifts from Charles Adelson since Markel's murder. A review of their financial records indicated that Charles Adelson and Donna Adelson had the financial means to finance this murder and provide ongoing compensation to Magbanua. On April 19, 2016, an undercover agent made contact with Donna Adelson in reference to Markel's murder. The undercover agent provided a press release of Markel's murder and asked for $5,000 and provided a phone number at which he could be contacted. As a result of this contact, conversations were intercepted. Call number 1380. Donna Adelson called to Charles Adelson asking him to meet her about some paperwork that was hand-delivered to her outside her condominium. This was the bump, okay, that famous, infamous bump. The Icon, that's the condominium building that she lived in. It was called the Icon. Isn't that even an interesting name? Because I'm sure they thought they were icons of the community and icons that were untouchable. On South Beach was intercepted. During this conversation, when Charles inquired whether it involved him or others, Donna responded in a whisper, "Well, probably both of us." When Charles asked her to repeat herself, she stated, "Probably the two of us. And you probably have a general idea what I'm talking about." When Charles inquired further, Donna said this was not something she wants to discuss over the phone. On call number 1382, Donna and Charles discussed meeting and whether or not Charles needed to bring cash. Charles inquired whether or not a threat was involved and whether the police should be contacted. Donna responded that this time she did not believe that was a good idea. Don't call the police. Call number 1386. Charles Adelson called and immediately told his mother, Donna Adelson, "Don't talk about things in the apartment or any place." He then asked if the person was black, white, or Hispanic, to which Donna said he was white. Charles said it sounds like something that needs the police. Donna said she may have to, but wants to talk to him first. When Charlie asks what the letter asks for, Donna said, "This TV is probably about 5. Charles asked if they asked for $5,000, to which Donna responded affirmatively. Donna said they mentioned an ex-girlfriend. Call number 1392, Charles Adelson calls Catherine Magbanua after trying to reach her by phone unsuccessfully about an hour before. Charles explains the situation to Magbanua as he understood it from his mother. Something regarding her son, regarding his ex-girlfriend and the person asking for some money. Charles tells Magbanua that he's going to see his mom that next day to discuss the matter. There is some discussion of whether Katie Magbanua is the girlfriend referenced by the agent. That's the undercover agent in the bump. Charles said he thought his mother and the agent mentioned Magbanua's name, but he's not sure and will follow up with her if the situation does involve her. Magbanua agrees to meet Charlie in person the next day, April 20th, 2016, around 4 p.m. Charles never contacts any other females to discuss the contact between his mother and the undercover agent because he knows she is the girlfriend they're talking about. The morning of April 20th, 2016, Charlie told his mother that he would meet her at her home at 12:35 p.m. And after he arrives at the Icon, where his mother and father reside, he and Donna walked outside to a remote table behind the building and sat close together while conversing. None of that conversation was successfully captured. Of course not. After meeting with Donna in person, he called Magbanua and traveled to her in Sunny Isle at the real estate office where she worked. When Charles arrived at the strip mall where Magbanua worked, they talked briefly outside and then they went into a restaurant, Dolce Vita, near the real estate office. That's their first mistake. They should have got some Chinese food to go and ate it on that picnic table behind Donna's building because they couldn't have gotten them. So, yeah, right? They weren't thinking. Their conversation was captured while they sat in the restaurant. Following statements Charles made directly to Magbanua were previously only audible with use on proprietary software. Through the use of an expert, the audio conversation between Magbanua and Charles was clarified. The following are portions of that conversation. If they had any evidence, we would have already gone to the airport. That's something, huh? Right? That's where she was arrested. Isn't that crazy? The problem is, even if they bug this, even if they bugged your home phone, but even if they had bugged your phone, okay? But even if they bugged your phone, okay? You're still not talking about any of this, too. So my point is, how do you get people to talk? You throw in a smoke grenade, and then you get all the cockroaches to run out. There's smoke in the house. There's smoke in the house. And everyone's running, and everyone's talking, and you throw a smoke grenade. What do you think? 3. They may have approached my mom because my dad may be someone who is carrying a gun. You never know if someone's, you know. You don't want it to turn into an effing shootout, you know? And I can tell you, a lot of times I carry on me. I mean, someone comes up to me, and then Katie says, "You're carrying on you right now?" I mean, I'm going to start carrying one on my back, like you know, a holster that fits in your shirt. If someone comes up to me, they better be ready to shoot, 'cause I'm going to shoot them. Someone comes up to me asking for money right now? Yeah. And guess what? When the effing police show up and there's a doctor, there's an oral surgeon standing there with a dead gang member in the effing driveway, they're not going to come down too hard on me. And I'm not going to talk anyway. I don't know much. I don't trust them. Those words probably going to come back to bite him in prison, right? 4. Katie, this is not like some chick showing off tattoos to your man. This is happening, and it's serious because these people are going to come back. They didn't go through the trouble of seeking my mom out to hand her that and go away and then go away. So I got 2 options. They're not going away. May wish they'd go away and never come back, but they ain't going away. The trouble they went through? 5. No, it's very simple. Like, if you're going to charge me, charge me. They were very obliged to do so. 6. What I'm saying is that this person is not going away. They came very equipped with details. Where did the details come from? I don't know. The details. 7. 2. They said the guy's name was 2-0. I don't even know who the F it is. Is there just 2-0? Two toes incarcerated now. And I know you've been helping out Katie and helping your family and helping out Katie and her family, and now Two Toes family needs help. My mom was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes, well, maybe this will refresh your memory. And he hands it to her. And she said, spoke like polite? She goes, polite and well spoken. I said, did he act thug, or did he talk like a thick Spanish accent or anything? And she said, no. I said, was he white or Hispanic? And she said he was white, but he could have been Hispanic, but that, Katie says, talking, yeah, could have made mistakes. I mean, everybody in Miami is Hispanic, so it's like you can't tell. 8. So, Katie, they'll be back. These people know about, whoever it is, knows information. 9. Let me ask a question. When everybody was there the next day, did any of you take any money? It's not like you're driving around in a Bentley, cruising around in a mega yacht, you know? Someone, he must at some point, because otherwise he'd have no idea I'd have anything to do with. 10. It could. I wish it was a cop playing games. Why didn't they know it was me? If it was a cop playing games or an investigator playing games and they didn't mention me, they did mention your son's girlfriend, Katie, not mention me at all and my family, and I think if they thought I had something to do with it, they would find me and they'd talk to me, you know? What I'm saying, go talk to the person who's involved, not effing people who aren't involved. 11. And I'm not involved. But if they knew your relationship with me, not my family, like I dated you, not my mom, they know my dad's name. This person obviously doesn't even know that we dated. That's the direct connection, is who was her boyfriend, the 71-year-old guy, Dr. Adelson, or the 37-year-old Dr. Adelson? Yeah, 37. Let's go talk to him, Dr. Adelson. And that's who they talked to. Not waste your time with mom. They needed to talk to someone who knew what the F went down. And so wouldn't it make sense that your connection to my family is me? 12. Your connection to my family is not my mom. Like, yeah, you work for the office now because the checks are from there, and that's just because you come in and work on the weekends, which I trust that you're doing because I'm never there when I see you. You tell me you do it and the place looks clean, so you get your checks. You clean up, whatever, but that's neither here nor there. This person knows information, and even if they are cops, that information said your name, and they also know that they're claiming that somebody who had something to do with it is incarcerated. I don't know anybody in jail. Well, now you do. You know a lot. 13, Katie says him. 14, this is what I want you to do. I want you to call up this person and say that I got a call from some friends of mine who say that you reached out to them and that you mentioned my name. And remember, protect your name recently. So what you're going to say is, I got a call from some friends of mine who said that you had reached out and that you mentioned my name. And these people want to go to the police because they had nothing to do with what you're talking about, okay? And frankly, I don't know what you're talking about, but the name sounds familiar of who's incarcerated, so I'm going to give you something as charity to help the less fortunate. But do not contact these people again, or they are going to the police. And let them know that you had to do everything in the world to prevent these people from going to the police because they don't know anything and I don't know anything, and that you, the name sounds a little familiar, and that I'm going to help you out with some charity, and don't ever contact me, my friends, or my family again, or we will go to the police. 15. I mean, Katie, I'll go to the moon and back for you. That's without even saying. I don't need to say that. Katie says, but that's what, it's like, what I'm saying. Help me out, like you know it. I don't even have to. I don't have to sit here and tell you what I would do. I could show you what I could do. You know what I'm saying, like, I look for things to do. You don't ask me for shite. I'm the one that's like, hey, Noah's birthday's coming up. I got you. I'm like the one that's like, anything I can, you don't ask, I'm the one who's like, hey, I'll sell you the Lexus for a very good price. I know you're having car problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the one. I don't have to. I don't have to tell you. I show you. There's a difference. 16. I know, my head was, when I was leaving the house, I literally had the bag out and I had it with my car keys. I know, well, if you want, you guys can swing by my house later. So what are we doing? Okay, I'm talking. I want you to take it back, write the number down, and I'm going to give you cash. And I want you to talk to 712, 65, 70. And the in-person meeting with after the in-person meeting with Magbanua, Charles calls Donna back to report about his meeting and said he is handling everything. Donna then calls Charles back, sounding very concerned. On April 21st, 2016, calls were intercepted between Magbanua and Charles, and they attempted to disguise their conversation using real estate references such as security, property posted incorrectly, and wrong tenants for rental property. Charles said his dad, Harvey, met for dinner. Charles and his dad, Harvey, met for dinner later that evening. Magbanua and Garcia were intercepted having numerous arguments over the phone. The morning of April 21st, 2016, it appeared that Magbanua was trying to convince Garcia to figure out who the phone number belonged to and place the call himself. In a heated exchange, Garcia said, I'm not making that effing phone call. He later said, I am going to take care of this effing problem. On Monday, April 25th, 2016, a letter was sent to Harvey and Donna Adelson. The letter was sent via USPS by investigators for the purpose of follow-up from the undercover's initial conversation. Calls intercepted indicate that Donna shared the information with Charles, who in turn forwarded it to Magbanua. Magbanua, again, asked Garcia to either determine who the phone number belonged to or call the phone number. Magbanua reported to Charles the phone number was either out of service or not a good number. It appeared Garcia lied to Magbanua about making the call or had not called the correct phone number. The agent's phone was not called and was working properly after conducting tests to verify. Later, the same date, Charles calls Katie Magbanua and asked her if she was on her way. It appeared Charles and Magbanua had been communicating through a different source to schedule a meeting. A later review of iCloud messages from Charles's records indicates that he and Magbanua would often communicate via WhatsApp, a phone application that allows for secure communication not retrieved in a cellular record. Charles directed her to Harvey and Donna's building to meet with them. Charles told Magbanua that he was talking to his parents about everything. Charles continued to try to convince her to meet at Donna and Harvey's building, but eventually agreed to meet with her at another location. Magbanua called Charles back, who advised they meet at a marina near Monty's. On April 26, 2016, Charles called Donna, and they discussed the conversation that occurred the night prior. Donna said she felt better after their conversation. Donna asked Charles to let her know once things were taken care of. He further stated that if you don't know who the person is, it's a much bigger problem. Charles said if you know who it is, it's very, very easy. Charles told Donna to stop getting worked up about things. Charles assured Donna that there was nothing she needed to worry about and that it was being looked into. Uh-oh, Donna. On May 4th, 2016, at approximately 2:09 a.m., a text message was sent to Donna's cell phone from the undercover agent. Later in the day, Charles asked Donna if she was okay, and Donna advised she would talk to Charles about it on Sunday. Charles wanted to talk to Donna before Sunday, and they agreed to Charles coming by around 11:30 a.m. the following day, May 5th, 2016. While driving to meet with Donna, Charles calls Katie Magbanua, advising there was a new problem, and he may need to meet with her later that day. On May 5th, 2016, Charles arrives at the Icon, and they agreed to meet at the pool area to discuss the text message. This time, Harvey is present with Charles and Donna, and they're huddled in a corner area for privacy. There was no oral intercept captured due to the location they had this conversation. After the meeting, Charles left the Icon and called Magbanua, asking for how someone would get his mother's number. Magbanua told Charles it's possible to locate the phone number online. Charles used specific phrases sent via the text message. Charles called Donna, and they discussed paying the $5,000. Charles advised the sooner they pay the money, the better. They discussed being nice but firm when the money is paid, so the person knows that it is only a one-time payment. On Friday, May 6th of 2016 at 5:03 p.m., Donna successfully contacted the agent by calling his phone number. The total duration of that call was 8 minutes and 48 seconds. The call was recorded by the FBI. In summary, Donna made the excuse her grandchildren had possession of her phone, so she did not know he called. Donna went over the previous contacts between herself and the agent. She said she took him seriously, and she was stressed out. She claimed she asked friends what she should do. She denied knowing anything referenced by the agent concerning help provided to her by the agent's friend, Rivera. She then brought up the reward offered and suggested he seek that out instead. The agent reminded her all he asked for was $5,000. Donna claimed she had nothing to do with the death of her ex-son-in-law and that she was left out of the loop. The agent reminded her the problem was not going away, and she did know Magbanua and what was done for her. Donna continued to deny knowledge and ended the conversation by saying she would call the agent back. Call number 3290-57-2016 at 5:07 p.m., Charles tells Katie Magbanua about a new CD he wants her to listen to, indicating he had a recording of the call between Donna and the agent. Charles used the reference "potbelly pigs, police," to which Magbanua responded, "That's not good." On May 25th, let's see, I think they have this date wrong. It's 2016. Sigfredo Garcia was arrested for his involvement in this case. On May 26, 2016, electronic surveillance suggested that Charles Adelson and Catherine Magbanua were in close proximity to each other and may have been in the overnight early morning hours. On June 28, 2016, Luis Rivera was arrested for his involvement in this case. On September 30th, 2016, a proffer was conducted with Luis Rivera in the presence of his attorney. This proffer was not recorded. Rivera was sworn prior to any testimony. Rivera stated that he has known Sigfrido Garcia since childhood. Garcia told Rivera about a high-dollar robbery he wanted to do with Rivera in Tallahassee, Florida. The first time Rivera and Garcia traveled to Tallahassee was in June of 2014. Once they departed for Tallahassee in June of 2014 was when Rivera learned Garcia wanted him to commit a murder, not a robbery. Garcia promised Rivera $30,000 to commit the murder. While en route to Tallahassee, Garcia provided Rivera with more details, explaining a woman with 2 kids wanted her ex-husband murdered so she could have full custody of the children in Miami. Garcia told Rivera that the offer was presented to him by Katie Magbanua, and the total payment for the murder would be $100,000. Rivera suggested robbing the woman of the $100,000 instead of committing the murder. The two traveled with a long barrel .38 Taurus revolver and a short barrel .38 Smith & Wesson revolver. The two around the victim's residence and followed the victim's vehicle. Rivera recalled Garcia having a colored printed photo of the victim with words printed on it. Rivera could not recall what was printed. They would eventually park the car at Winthrop Park and wait for the victim to leave. Rivera would later show investigators where they parked and the routes they took to the victim's residence. Rivera indicated Garcia told him Magbanua approached Garcia with the offer of $100,000 to be divided among the three. $40,000 was for Garcia, $35,000 for Rivera, and the remainder for Magbanua. Garcia later offered $2,000 more to Rivera. After losing the victim and failing to complete the murder in June, the two decided to return to Miami. Approximately a month later, the two returned to Tallahassee to commit the murder. Rivera rented the Prius in his name. They arrived in Tallahassee in the morning of July 17, 2014. The same morning, July 17, 2014, they drove to the victim's neighborhood. While driving around, Garcia involuntarily discharged the revolver through the floorboard of the Prius. Rivera noticed the car starting to lose power, and they learned Garcia shot a hole through the gas line. They were able to repair the vehicle and continue traveling. A search warrant was issued in October of 2016 for the Prius. The fuel line under the passenger side of the vehicle was spliced together, and the corresponding hole was located in the floorboard, consistent with the information provided by Rivera. The following morning, July 18, 2014, Rivera and Garcia traveled back to the area of the victim's residence where they observed the victim leaving the neighborhood. They followed the victim around town as he dropped his kids off and went to Premier Gym. As they returned to the victim's residence, the victim turned off on Thomasville Road prior to Benton Road. Rivera and Garcia traveled further down to Benton Road and entered the neighborhood from the south. As they approached the victim's residence, the victim was pulling in the driveway in front of them, and they pulled in behind the victim. And as he parked in the garage, Garcia exited the Prius and approached the driver's side door of the victim's car. Garcia shot the victim twice in the head and then returned to the Prius, and the two left Tallahassee. They traveled north on Thomasville Road to I-10 and then I-75, confirming the information previously discovered through electronic data. While driving back to South Florida, Garcia called Magbanua an hour into the drive. Garcia told Magbanua, "It's done." Rivera explained he could hear Magbanua's voice as Garcia held the phone to his ear. During the drive, Garcia asked Rivera to pull over near a bridge and waterway so Garcia could dispose of the firearm. Numerous attempts to locate this bridge and waterway were unsuccessful. Upon returning to South Florida, Rivera and Garcia withdrew cash from the ATM in Pembroke Pines, where they were observed on ATM security camera, and then they drove to Rivera's residence. The following morning, Rivera received a call from Magbanua. She told him if he wanted the money, he needed to tell her where to meet him because she could not get a hold of Garcia. Rivera knew Garcia was at Stephanie Camona's residence, so he called a friend, Anthony Ortiz, to go pick him up. While waiting to return home, Rivera received a call from his child's mother, Jessica Rodriguez, whom he lived with. Jessica told Rivera that Garcia and Magbanua were at the residence with a package for him. Rivera returned home and he saw Katie's white SUV in the driveway. As he entered the residence, he received a package from Katie and Sigfrido Garcia. Rivera did not want Jessica to know what was in the package. Rivera then left the residence with Garcia. Rivera described the package as stacks of cash, $100 bills stapled together. In July of 2018, contact was made with June Umchinda. Umchinda was a girlfriend of Charles Adelson at the time of the undercover operation in which an FBI agent approached Donna Adelson. Of relevance is her interview with her recollection of Charles Adelson having stapled money in a safe in his residence. June stated she followed the case in the news when she heard about the stapled money. She found it odd because she remembers Charles keeping his that way. June also testified that Charles Adelson was acting angry, agitated, and nervous around the time of the undercover operation and Magbanua's arrest. Adelson advised June that he gave Magbanua a car and financed a portion of her breast augmentation. June Umchinda also observed Donna Adelson to be stressed out during this time frame, and Donna Adelson made a statement to June Umchinda that she felt Dan Markel was haunting her from the grave. In July of 2021, contact was made with Ryan Fitzpatrick. During the interview with Fitzpatrick, it was learned the two had a falling out in recent years over financial disagreements. He said Charles's entire demeanor changed when Magbanua was arrested. Adelson stated putting up security cameras and was constantly paranoid of arrest. During a conversation with Fitzpatrick, Charles Adelson said, "You can get away with murder if you keep your mouth shut." Fitzpatrick also stated he knows Charles staples his money together because he has received money from him in that manner. Fitzpatrick said Charles staples his money in $1,000 increments. In October of 2019, Garcia was tried and convicted. He was sentenced to life in prison. In April of 2022, after the clarified audio recording from the Dolce Vita revealed Charles Adelson making additional incriminating statements, he was arrested for first-degree murder, solicitation to commit first-degree murder, and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. In May of 2022, Katie Magbanua was tried and convicted, and she was sentenced to life in prison. In October of 2022 and November of 2022, the proffers previously mentioned were conducted with Katie Magbanua. In October of 2023, trial for Charles Adelson. In October of 2023, the trial for Charles Adelson commenced. On November 6th, 2023, Charles Adelson was found guilty on all charges. He is set to be sentenced in December of 2023. In Adelson's trial, Katie Magbanua testified that Adelson told her that his mother, Donna Sue Adelson, had just departed his residence at the time Magbanua arrived on the night of the homicide. Magbanua said the money she received appeared to have been washed. Jail calls. Now listen to this one. From After Charles Adelson's guilty verdict include multiple calls in which Donna Sue Adelson is telling Charles Adelson that she is getting things in order, creating trusts, and making sure her grandchildren are taken care of. Donna discusses plans for a suicide, but also discusses plans to flee to a non-extradition country, one like Vietnam. Donna Sue Adelson has considerable financial resources to accomplish this. On November 7th, 2023, Donna and Harvey Adelson booked flights to Vietnam with a stop in Dubai. The flight EK 0214 departs Miami, Florida on November 13th, 2023 at 8:10 p.m. to Dubai. Flight EK 0392 departs Dubai on November 15th, 2023 at 9:35 a.m. and lands in Saigon at 7:35 p.m. Wow. So he was convicted on the 6th, and when we said that they were making their plans to leave the country and packing, no joke, November 7th, they booked their flight. Why they waited, did that, I would think, gosh, if you do that and it's in the system, you're just giving them a chance to really know about it instead of just booking it and getting the freak out of there. But it's interesting because they sped up the timeline because of this. So watch this. This here is in the county court, Leon County, Florida. Whereas, okay, let's see here. Here is first said Donna did conspire with another person, Charles Adelson, and others to commit first-degree murder, and in the course of such conspiracy did engage in specific conduct which resulted in the death of Daniel Markel, contrary to the state rule regulation of other provision of the law in such case made and provided, and against the peace and dignity of the state of Florida. No contact with other co-conspirators. So Harvey and her son. And there's Stephen Everett. Now, remember that on tomorrow, they have that grand jury event, right? Now, let me show you something else. Because they pushed this arrest, wouldn't have, if she would have stayed where she was, she wouldn't have been arrested yesterday because the state was going to wait. And I'm going to explain that to you. Hang on, let me get where I have the second. Okay. So I have all my stuff here, but I just read from the district attorney. Stuff is moving so fast that I bookmark some and it's okay. So here, the targeted Emirates airline flight to Dubai which would have landed at 9:15 a.m. today. Okay. So Donna was dramatically arrested on the jetway to the plane. FBI agent Sanford was there. He was on the stand. Let's see here. When I get to where I just saw that he had his statement. Okay. I'll find that in a minute. Oh, here, is this it? Hang on. Well, again, the important thing is jail calls from after Charles Adelson's guilty verdict include multiple calls in which Donna Sue Adelson is telling Charles Adelson that she is getting things in order. She is creating trust, making sure her grandchildren are taken care of. She discusses plans for a suicide, but also discusses plans to flee to a non-extradition country. Why she would say this on a recorded line, I have absolutely zero idea. Donna Sue Adelson had considerable financial resources to accomplish this. On November 7, 2023, Donna and Harvey Adelson booked flights to Vietnam with a stop in Dubai. The flight departed Miami on November 13th at 8:10 p.m. to Dubai, departs Dubai November 15th at 9:35 a.m. and lands in Saigon at 7:35 p.m. Okay, hang on one second. I hope that you guys are still here because I can't see the chat yet. Okay. Here, so this is what I wanted. Tallahassee State Attorney Jack Campbell told the Tallahassee Democrat that Donna Adelson was arrested at Miami International Airport, where she and her husband had one-way plane tickets to Vietnam. Campbell told the newspaper that Donna Adelson was trying to flee the country, which will be part of the state's evidence in its case against her. Her arrest came exactly 1 week after a Tallahassee jury found Charlie Adelson guilty on all counts for his role in Dan Markel's murder. Charlie Adelson is the Fort Lauderdale dentist and the victim's former brother-in-law. There was something else about how... Hold on, that was not what I was looking for. I was looking for where he said that. Hang on one second. Okay. Well, let me see here. Well, I read it somewhere when I was doing the research this morning, but because of this, they had to act now. If they would have been home, they wouldn't have arrested her right then and there. but their hand was forced because of the fact that she was trying to flee the country. Let me just get back and see if I can see you guys in the chat for 1 minute. See what everybody's saying. Okay. Doodle-doo. See if my... Hi, Amanda Love. I'm at the beginning, but Vietnam was Harvey's decision, meaning they finally let him make a decision. Well, how do we know it was Harvey's? They both booked a flight. I mean, I think Charlie had been in there, but from the fish video that I saw posted, had been there. Yeah. Okay. So my chat is, okay, now my chat is coming back up. But my chat is way, way behind. Okay. So anyway, if you guys would give this a thumbs up, that would be great. Share it out, because I think we're being, I'm really having a feeling that we're shadow banned on YouTube with our coverage. But if you give it a thumbs up and share it out, that would be really helpful. Anyhow, you're at the beginning. Now, another question that's come up is, where is Harvey? Did he go on to Vietnam, or did he go back? Should I stay or should I go? And then the other thing about is Wendi, okay? Talking about her immunity, and can her testimony be used against her in charges and all of that. That's a discussion, and that she has allegedly contacted an attorney to discuss that. I saw an attorney today that said he doesn't think there's enough there to charge her, that she will not be charged. But then there's others that say the opposite. So what I do say from the probable cause is that they seem to want to weave in Wendi and Harvey and get their names weaved in there more than I've seen before. That's just my take on that, kind of weaving them in. Okay, so let me go back to something over here that I was looking at. I just have to look at something. Let me go here. Okay. All right. Someone said that Donna's goose is cooked. She totally freaked out after her son was found guilty. I think there is a very sick relationship between mom and son if a son is willing to hire for murder so his mother could get custody of her grandchildren. Well, wasn't that her mother? Jail calls from after Charlie's guilty verdict include multiple calls in which Donna is telling Charles that she is getting things in order, creating trust, making sure her grandchildren are taken care of. Per the affidavit, Donna discusses plans for suicide, but also discusses, defense will be, my son was unjustly convicted, and I don't think I could get a fair trial. Another one said, I agree they are not smart criminals. If only she'd minded her business and let her adult kids mind theirs, she'd be planning Thanksgiving meals instead of chilling in jail. I don't think she's chilling. Let's see. Okay. Okay. She's in the turtle suit. Of course, that's pretty much standard protocol, and the suicide watch and all that stuff. We've seen those turtle suits most of the time. Let's see. See one thing over here, if there's any. Someone's here saying, Wendi is on the radar. Every breath she takes, every move she makes, every bond she breaks, every step she takes, every game she plays, FBI is watching her. Yeah. Let's see. She is charged with the same 3 charges that Charlie has: murder, conspiracy, and solicitation. Let's see. Okay. Hang on one second. But yeah, if you can share us out, that would be great. But thumbs up is really great too. Okay, let me go to here we go. Right, nope, this one. Where did I put you? Ready? Okay. So back here. So with the Castigar regarding the immunity and that. Where do I have that? Over here about Wendi. So the immunity standard, Castigar and immunity. It's from 1972. Someone named Castigar cited his Fifth Amendment protection against self-incrimination in refusing to testify before a grand jury. So, with the grand jury stuff happening tomorrow, and Wendi inquiring with an attorney allegedly about citing, I guess, Fifth Amendment protection against self-incrimination by refusing to testify before a grand jury. So, let's see. So by the Office of the United States Department of Justice, regarding this, the abstract is the 1972 Supreme Court decision in the United States versus Castigar apparently settled a long-standing controversy concerning grants of immunity to witnesses by one jurisdiction that do not prevent another jurisdiction's prosecution of the witness. If a witness is granted transactional immunity, he cannot be prosecuted for any event about which he testifies. Testimonial immunity, however, merely prevents the testimony and its derivatives from being used in a subsequent prosecution. It does not preclude a prosecution based on independent material if brought by another jurisdiction. Until Castigar, different standards applied to federal and state courts. Castigar held that testimonial immunity satisfies the privilege against self-incrimination and thus does not preclude a subsequent prosecution where the government establishes sources of information and evidence independent of testimony, compelled by grants of immunity. So that is supposed to be what she is contacting an attorney about. Tomorrow is the grand jury proceedings that are on the calendar with the judge from Charlie's case, so you can imagine what that's about, right? Okay, now let me go over here for something. Where the heck was my thing? Right there, right? Yeah. I want to go to the latest stuff here and see what we've got. Okay. Let's see. I wonder what that was. Okay, let me go back one here. Okay, so people are saying, what if Charlie cracks? You know, what if Charlie thinks that his mother's going down, he's going down, and, you know, it's not fair that Donna's not going down, and he's going to throw something out there. I don't know. But if he needs Donna on the outside to pad his commissary and everything, he's not going to want her to go down, or Harvey, right? I don't know. Unless he can work out a deal and throwing them under the bus. He doesn't seem like one that's really he's going to be out for his own interest at the end, you know? Let me see one thing here, let's see. If there's anything else coming in here. George changed her phone. I just can't believe that we're not seeing more people talking about like where Wendi is. Like, Wendi's got the kids, where she is, what's going on with her. She's got to be flipping out. I mean, in this day and age when we've seen like so many people standing outside, I'm not saying anybody should be standing outside her home. I am just surprised that some of the people that I want to say pimp around true crime are not, but I just don't think those people are even in this case, because I think otherwise they would be. roving around these homes. Just weird. Okay, let me see something else here. I just want to go to the latest on something else. And then we have a lot to talk about tonight, too, with Caitlin Armstrong. And, of course, more on this. So I'll be back later tonight to discuss this stuff and everything that comes out between now and then. Unless something absolutely shocking happened, like Wendi was arrested, then I would go live about that again. But let me just see one thing here. If there's any latest on this, see if we got anything else here. You know what's interesting, right? I'll tell you what's interesting. What's interesting, let me put this up here, is that this Thanksgiving, right, you have people like Alex Murdaugh, now Donna Adelson, Charlie Adelson, people that had an arrogance. The law didn't apply to them. They're above the law. They have special friends in high places. They have people that do them favors. It's like only the little people kind of thing, and we don't have to follow that, and all of that. And these people are going to be sitting down, well, if they are, to Thanksgiving dinner in a prison, in a jail in Donna's case, when they had everything. And all the privilege and at their fingertips. And instead of trying to better things and help people, whatever, they help themselves in such a way that it involved murder. And in Murdaugh's case, murder of his wife and kids as family members, and in this woman's case, their grandchildren's father. And this was okay, and it was okay by, in Donna's case, more than one person thinking that this was okay. In Murdaugh's case, we don't know, we know that some of the financial stuff and the way, he ripped those kids of the housekeeper, who was considered family, out from anything when he knew they were suffering, and lied to them over and over and over again. That was okay, but you have all that going on, and then you wonder, like, wow, that's just crazy, right? What they just threw away everything like that over that they just could not abide by whatever it was the court decided, or that she'd have to fight harder because it wasn't over. She could have. A lot of people go through contentious custody issues and this and that, and instead of trying to work something out or trying something other than deciding that murder is the answer, which it never is. Murder is never the answer. But these people just don't believe that they are like anyone else that needs to follow the law. They make their own rules, they make their own laws, and they'll never be caught, and they can do whatever they want, and nobody should ever tell them that something is not going to be the way they want it. So when they're all sitting down in their respective jail or prisons, I wonder what's really going through their minds, or they're just lying. And with Donna, people are thinking she's not going to make it, that she's going to stop eating altogether, and she's going to wither away. And I think she's going to get into a medical facility for sure. for sure. I think she's going to be playing that one. Let's see. But I just can't believe, she's really arrested. I still am like a little bit of denial around it because I was asking. Hi 61. Hi Shanna. Hi Sherry M. Sherry M, did you ever get my request? I sent you a PayPal request because I'd like to get your stuff out. Okay, but I'm going to go work on that. I do have to work on some shipping and stuff, and then I will be back later on. I really do appreciate you guys watching. If you'd give it a like on your way out, if you'd share it, that would be great. And I will talk to you guys later on tonight. Everybody have a good one. God bless, prayers, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.